Well, I am officially in bed. Thank God for that. Not going to bed because it's 7 o'clock at night, but actually it's 7 o'clock in the night and I am now getting up out of bed. And I have been in bed since 6 o'clock this morning after having 3 days up day and night to obviously deal with 2 children who have been sick with diarrhea and vomiting, not coronavirus, but the good old tummy bug that we get. And I assume, I'm not a doctor, but it's diarrhea and sickness. So anyway, I thought I would just show you something in a second. Welcome to a woman who has pushed her body to complete burnout. I want to show you something, because this is live, is very specific. I've got a plumber on the way. But to get up and get ready from, this is my personal space, this is where I can rest. But hang on a minute, if you're on benefits, should you stay in bed? Well, what about people who are bedridden and on benefits? So, should they support people who are bedridden? Now, officially, this is Kellie, bedridden. I can feel my feet, I can feel my legs. It's going to struggle to move. I've got to go and take you guys to the bathroom to show you a matter that is going on. Obviously, as you know, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It is a medical diagnosed condition. It exists in the diagnosis. It is real. It is not faked. As they said to take my children, Dr. Bose, the medical examiner for Elijah Shiloh, who didn't even see me, said that EDS was the easiest condition for someone to claim to have. Welcome to easy to claim to have. I've got to get my hat, which is down there.
Mom, would you help me
To start my day.
Would someone help? Oh, that's good.
So, welcome to a complete spinal out, neck out, hips, legs and out. This is the time that I want a chiropractor to be knocking on my door. But how would I get to the door if, say, I'd slip my discs? So I've got 2 children in the house now. I'm not unattended. I don't need social. It's not a problem. And one baby is asleep on the sofa. He's not been well. And one is sat next to me. Now, as a mother, he's naked. So there is a boundary between me here, public with you, and my son here in my private space. I've now got to get my son dressed because we have got a plumber coming and I need my son to be decent. Here we go. Isn't it cool? So, anyway, welcome to the inside world of the system, Exposed. This has been going on for 11 years and obviously things went horrendously wrong because Aaron and Faith were taken by agents of the state in Flintshire, which was in Wales, not in England. Step Up Britain was about England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, Britain. Yes, not England. So, Step Up England. 2 seconds, because I need to find... I need to find something to make you decent, because literally at the moment I've got a man packing up another job to come out to me. No, you stay there. Just give me a second, because welcome to my bathroom. Welcome to my paddling pool. I don't really want to do that because in this water there is feces. This here is a toilet. Everybody's toilet is different. Some people's are absolutely covered in shit. Some people you wouldn't sit on. Would you come into my house and sit on my toilet? Is it clean? Standards clean? Bit greasy? Because obviously I've been doing this. Now, this has gone. Okay? So, in order to do this, I have to pick this up which I can't because it's got this on. And you need to unscrew it. Now, that is not a problem. I can get a screw and I can unscrew this and I can deal with this. Now, Dean went, your toilet handle's broke. I went, well, isn't it lucky I live in a council house and I can call the council. This toilet seat is very difficult for me to change over. It's got all of these sort of things on them. As you know, my hands don't work in the same way as everybody else's in order to even use a screwdriver, to even hold a toothbrush. Because to do your teeth, so I'll hold a toothbrush, sort of, a bit like that. I sort of go like that. Or maybe it's actually, to hold a toothbrush is really difficult for me, like seriously. And the other thing would be a paintbrush, because of the way that my fingers go. And then obviously this would be the size of what would be a pencil. So in order to hold a pencil, I find I have to sort of... Now, if you look at the way my fingers... So for children in school who have hypermobility, if you see my finger there, you can get what's called a bridge. This is why we have splints. So a splint would make my finger stay there. So to everybody who sees those lovely EDS sprints, that's what the splint does. So when you then move your finger stays there. Never moves. Without the splints, finger does that. That's exactly the same as my toes, exactly the same as my knees, exactly the same as my ankles, and every other joint. You see, a nice clean sink. Every other joint in my fingers obviously does the same. So I can take this off. I can screw this. I can lift this. Now, let's go and get a screwdriver. Elijah, are you decent? Let me just turn you to me a second. Now, 2 seconds, because I've got... Right, now, one of the challenges was space. I've now got to move this chair that's got my drying on here to get into this drawer here to get a screwdriver out. Oh, for fuck's sake, seriously. It's hard enough to do with EDS, let alone with one hand. So let me just shift that a second. So that's going to go into my bedroom to get ironed in a sec. It's all my bedding that's got to go. So for anyone who said, oh, she's not got any bedding on, I remember this happening before. Oh, hang on, I've taken it the wrong way. I do have bedding. It's all here, ready to go back on, and the spare ones are in the cupboard. So anyway, let me just grab a screwdriver. I think I've turned my torch on. Oh, seriously? Elijah, Shiloh, have you had the screwdrivers for your battery things? Right, okay. So what happens if you don't have a screwdriver in your house? I actually do have a screwdriver. I just don't know where it is. So now we've got a problem. What if you don't have a tool set? So if you're a single woman and you've left and you're in your own home, you don't really think about taking the toolbox with you, do you? So one, I'm now screwed because I don't have the tools. So now I don't have the tools to do the job. So not only do I not have the skills or the qualification, I now don't even have the tools. Well done, Jess. 2 seconds. Butter knife. Let's go with a butter knife. We have butter knife. 2 secs. Right, we got... Hang on, Jess. Are you male or female? If you're male, well done. We've got 2 women in the house and it took for a man to come in. But if you are a woman, well done. 2 seconds. So here we go. If you watch, let me just pull my sleeve up. Now, don't forget, I've had wires in... So let me turn you this way. So Sorry. Well, okay. 4 women between us. We're working it out. But you did have a male name, so I did wonder. So welcome to 4 women that are sussing it out. So obviously, I have had wires in because this is what's called the ulnar bone, which subblocks and dislocates that runs all the way down my fingers. So let's do this. Now, this is just a simple thing. Obviously, whether you're in your own home, whether you're in private rental, or whether you're in housing. First thing is obviously you're going to assess it yourself. So let's have a look. Oh, my fucking... Hang on. So it's right tighty, loosey lefty. And the screw... Oh, shit, my hand's hurting already. And the problem is now my shoulder's going. So I've just bust my shoulder as well. Now, there's a point that I'm doing this because people in council houses get a lot of shit from people who live in social houses saying, oh, you don't have to pay for this. Now, guys, for some reason, I answered the phone call and I think that went on my live. That was not staged. That is a genuine phone call. That is a genuine phone call from the people who have got the contract here in Portsmouth for Portsmouth City Council. So the chief executive here of Portsmouth is pretty much our landlord for the people here who come to Portsmouth. And so say wherever you are in the world, you turn around and go, wait, that Kellie Cottam, she keeps showing me Portsmouth. I want to go and live there. So you come along to Portsmouth and you choose a property. Now, you will either cash down, buy that property in full. Now, that's the mindset that most of you don't get. That actually, say you had 150,000. Let me break this down for you very quickly. Well done to Russell Brand today, who's completely nailed it, smashed it, explaining why people are quitting their jobs. But we have a problem. In order for me to fix this, so this is the problem. We've now gone past, and thanks to Jess, I've gone and got a butter knife. My hand is hurting. This, I'm not trained to do. Nobody has shown me how to do this, okay? Now, Jess, if you do know what this is, because I'm used to a big ball and a nice little clip, and then you clip it back on and push it down. I have never, ever, ever seen this before. I assume this thing here turns. I don't have the tools. This is where she says, this is already paid for. Did you hear her? So what I'm going to do is leave that, and show you the rest. So that went. So then we had a problem that obviously...
I need a wee.
Elijah now needs a wee. Let me just leave the bathroom a second for Elijah. 2 seconds, dude. Let me just leave the bathroom for Elijah to have. What do you have, Elijah? Private space. So he's going for some private space to have a wee. No, I've turned around. In fact, I will completely come here and sit in your chair for a second. Then you can have your private space. But if I can hear your tinkle on it, I'm so sorry. So enjoy your wee. So anyway, right, cool. Jess is out on seeing that as well. But literally, on fixing a toilet, you lift the lid. You usually put the ball cop back on.
I know what. You can go in now.
Thank you. And then from there, you just put the lid back on. Now, them lids have caused me problems for a lifetime, so I'm glad that they bolt them down the way that they do. I've had me drop them on my fingers. I've had me have big ones, drop them and smash. I've had my children knock them off. And then I've had to live where you don't have one because they're like £200, £100 to replace. So, or you have to replace your entire bathroom. So who pays for the bathroom? Now, the majority of people move into their own property. When you buy a property, you are having to choose whether you are buying the property or the land. Then it goes into 2 different agreements between whether you are renting the land and owning the property, or you are owning the land and owning the property, or you are going to own the land but rent the property. Freehold, things like this. Most people don't look into a mortgage because most people are on benefits and they go, well, I don't even have the deposit to even put onto a mortgage in the first place. So most people end up getting given what they've got, and that's it. People take what they're given. When I was using the analogy of menthol fags over real fags when I was in court that day, and I said, this is what the system is like. It will persistently give me normal fags. Here's your Richmonds. Here's your Sterling. Here's your Rothmans. Here's your whatever fag brands that you have. And I'm going, but I don't smoke them. I smoke Consulate menthols. Now I don't smoke Consulate. I went over tobacco and menthol tips for a long time. But hey, the state then comes in and says, well, you can't have menthol tips because we're going to take them away from you. Well, I don't want your normal tips. I want my menthol tips. So, okay, then I've got to change suppliers because they're not going to supply me with my need. My need is for menthol tip. It's not for normal tip. Now, as it was, government didn't win that little thing, and we still have menthol tips in the shop, and we can purchase menthol tips. With that, we have to decide what we prioritise over that money. Most people on government benefits know, people go, oh, you get £1,000 a week. No, people don't get £1,000 a week on benefits. People get £347 over 4 weeks. Something like that, over 4 weeks. So they don't get £1,000 a week. That is the basic universal credit per person. One individual single by themselves. A couple, it goes under something like 300 and something pounds. And then obviously that's why a lot of men don't live with their children per se. Why me and Dean don't live together or have established that relationship. Because the system forces us to live as two separate individuals. Because if I was the person who stepped back and let Dean take this property. So you come to Portsmouth, you go, hey, I live in your area and I would like a council house here. They would say, hey, where do you live? You then have to deem whether you have a care of duty. So then they're going to want to know how many people live in the area that you know. Do you have children that live in the area, family? If you have no care of duty, and even though my mother lived here, I was not granted care of duty. My mother had not lived here long enough. I also had to slightly deceive the system that I had been homeless in the area. So hence why we came in the car the day before, and hence why I had done some videos to say, hey, I'm here in Portsmouth, because I knew I would have to lie on the paperwork to say that I had been in Portsmouth longer. I think now it's something like 7 or 8 weeks, so up to 6 months. So basically, if you're homeless, you have to remain on the streets of that city for a period of time before they will consider giving you a social house. If you are classed as homeless, which means that you have no fixed abode and no address, if you were to even use your parents' address over the age of 18, it would still be considered a care of address and not actually yours. Why? Because you are not registered on the electoral roll paying council tax. Council tax is there to pay for the services such as the police, fire, adult social care. These are services that exist to provide a service such as the plumber who's on the way. Now, being that I live in this property and I pay my rent is £475, including that is my service charges. My service charges mean that if my shower blocks, so I haven't got any bubble up stuff in the house right now, and Shiloh is asleep on the sofa. So as a single mother, and I am actually a single mother, social services put so much pressure on me and Dean that we don't know our head from our ass on who each other is right now. So as a single mum, beautiful little boy, fast asleep. The other one, who's been up all day with me today, I was up all night and he's had a good night's sleep, so he'll start getting ready to bed. Shiloh, I'm going to try to see if he will stay in bed tonight, and we'll just start an early one tomorrow. Probably all feeling better. Now, I don't have a bath, as you can see. This is my kids' bath, so I have 2 of these. In fact, I have 2 of these. So I turn the shower on, and that is meant to go down. When that turns off, that is not going down. So we can get our good old unblocker and we can doodah, we can get a good old suction plug and we can go jump, 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 and we can take a certain amount of responsibility. But at a time, it comes to my dad didn't prepare me to be a husband. My dad didn't even think about me being a wife. And my dad probably only attitude towards the potential. Let me come and sit on my toilet. I can't even sit on my toilet because the top's broke. If he's got one in the van, he'll go and do it and change it over for me now. But they've said that a few times. Let me just, I've just got wet on my seat. Let me do what I used to do when I used to chat to my dad. So when I was a kid, this was my dad's office. And I used to come in, sit on the toilet seat while my dad was in the bath. And that is... Sorry?
You got crumpets?
Have I got crumpets?
Yeah.
I think we have actually. I'll have a look. Just give me 2 seconds. Let me finish this and I'll come and have a look and then see if we've got crumpets. If not, I think we've got muffins and toast.
I want to show you something.
Go on.
If you turn that
I can't turn my head that way to have a look. Hang on.
If you turn that wobbles.
Yes, it's not meant to wobble though, is it? What's it meant to do? It's meant to flush all the toilet, isn't it?
Yeah, but this is a nasty pipe.
Okay, right, you've got no clothes on, so just give me 5 seconds a minute. You go and finish up and I'll go and have a look. Go and have a look in the bread bin yourself. Don't, because they can still see you on the back camera, even though it's... No, the phone can. You know full well these phones can monitor you when you're not even on them. These phones can monitor you even if you turn them off. So basically, there's the line between what a woman... So basically now I've also got to have a man come into my house. Now I've had a woman on the phone who has arranged this. There are people knowing that they're coming. This is the thing that I like about social housing. In private rental, unless I rang my dad and said, hey dad, can you come and do it? Now, if it was my gas, you have to be Corgi registered to deal with any gas and boiler. There are only so many people in this country, here in the UK, that are Corgi registered, and you have to go through a licence to be able to do that. If you, as a lay individual, was to deal with gas matters, you would probably cause an issue. Unless it's a case of just turning the pilot light on. But that's what we've got to do for ourselves. Now, they've just violated me again. Oh, no, she told me he was coming, wasn't she? Hang on 2 seconds. Hang on, let me just double check, because I've still got anxiety. It's please. Hello. Is he at the door? No, I think he's ringing me. No, he's not ringing me. Right, anyway, the whole reason this has gone on, by the way, is because we've had diarrhoea, vomiting and everything. So I know he's a council person coming, but it's still my home. And I know I've put like toilet cleaner down and I've thrown buckets of water down because at the end of the day, this is blocked from diarrhoea and vomiting. 3 days, 4 people, Dean, me and the boys, all with it. I think it was Elijah that went down first. Then Shiloh, well, me, but I've still been getting on. People are used to me being sick. And I'm used to being sick. So let me just 2 seconds, because 2 seconds, because I haven't actually got you decent yet. And I don't know if he's out the door. No, he's not at the door. Right, now, funny enough, the people coming right now, when I was 14, let me just show you. Them. When I was 14, now you've got a carer getting shit for this being late. So conserve, when I was 14, 15, I used to hang around at Charrington Bowl because my mum used to bowl for Great Britain, which is for England, Great Britain, Tempim. And she used to bowl with a guy called Trevor Jacobs. Now, Trevor Jacobs owns that company. Now, they're not the ones with the full-blown contract that's on Portsmouth City Council. Mountjoy have the contract here. These are the men that don't claim benefits. These are the men that get up every day, every morning. Oh my goodness, I know he's coming out to see me. You coming up to me? That's all right. Don't ring the bell though, because little one's still asleep. Do you need my key fob? The little one's asleep if you ring the bell. So do you want my key fob? Yeah, I've got a key fob there. The door will be open, will it? Well, that's what I'll do then. I'll open the door. Yeah. So the difference is, I know who's coming up. I've met him before. I've spoken to him before. I'm a single woman in my house, and I'm about to unlock my door. To let a stranger in. But he's employed by the council. These are the men that get up every morning, every day, to go to work, to pay for their own home, where they pay for their mortgage and have to do their own jobs in their house. Or get private rental, where you have to ring the landlord, and the landlord deals with the plumbers or anything else that's need doing. It's not just easy to book somebody to come and lift the bed, just to show you. My boy's bedroom. Bed has moved. They've got their little bits all in there. But it's not as easy. Now I've got all the ironing to do to put all their clothes in there. And this is a nightmare to get off. If anyone knows a better way of getting this off, by the way, that would help me. What the fuck's that doing in there? That's my fault. There you go. I left this in here. Yeah, look how fucking silly that was. Yeah, mother, that's me that's done that. Now, the good thing is my kids wouldn't touch it. So, obviously, that's got to be finished. So anyway, I've got a gentleman coming into my home. Unless I turn around and go, hey, my name's Kellie Coddenham and I live broadcast from the system. Apologies to the lady who didn't know. I didn't know that it was going to come over on my live. I actually thought it would kick my live out while I answered the call, and then I would come back to you. So anyway, my door is ajar. I have a gentleman heading in. And I was going to be alone in my house with a nice man.